लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
शिव शंभो कुमारा सिद्धेश्वरा,
शिव शंभो कुमारा सिद्धेश्वरा,
शिव शंभो कुमारा सिद्धेश्वरा,
शिव शंभो कुमारा सिद्धेश्वरा,
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
अंबिकतनया ओंकारेश्वरा, अंबिकतनया ओंकारेश्वरा, हे रंबसाई शिरडीश्वरा, हे रंबसाई पर्तीश्वरा, लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
विघ्नेश्वरा,
शिव शंभो कुमारा सिद्धेश्वरा,
शिव शंभो कुमारा सिद्धेश्वरा,
अंबिकतनया ओंकारेश्वरा,
अंबिकतनया ओंकारेश्वरा,
हे रंबसाई शिरडीश्वरा,
हे रंबसाई शिरडीश्वरा,
हे रंबसाई पर्तीश्वरा,
हे रंबसाई पर्तीश्वरा,
लंबोदरा हे विघ्नेश्वरा,
पर्तीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु,
पर्तीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु,
पर्तीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु,
पर्तीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु,
ईश्वराम्बनन्दन साई प्रभु,
ईश्वराम्बनन्दन साई प्रभु,
ईश्वराम्बनन्दन साई प्रभु,
ईश्वराम्बनन्दन साई प्रभु,
पर्तीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु,
पर्तीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु,
ईश्वर अल्लाह श्री साई राम नाम,
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 भूत सौराष्ट्र साई कृष्ण नाम,
बुद्ध सौराष्ट्र साई कृष्ण नाम,
बुद्ध सौराष्ट्र साई कृष्ण नाम,
बुद्ध सौराष्ट्र साई कृष्ण नाम,
माधव मोहन साई प्रभु साई रामा
प्रेमावतारा प्रभु साई रामा
प्रेमावतारा प्रभु साई रामा
प्रेमावतारा प्रभु साई रामा
परतीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु
परतेश्वर श्री साई प्रभु
ईश्वरांबनंदन साई प्रभु
ईश्वरावरन्दन साई प्रभु
परतीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु
परतेश्वर श्री साई प्रभु
ईश्वर अल्लाह श्री साई राम नाम
ईश्वर अल्लाह श्री साई राम नाम
बुद्ध ज़ोराष्ट्र साई कृष्ण 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 नाम
माधव मोहन साई नारायण
माधव मोहन साई नारायण
माधव मोहन साई नारायण
माधव मोहन साई नारायण
प्रेमवतारा प्रभु साई रामा
प्रेमावतारा प्रभु साई रामा
प्रेमवतारा प्रभु साई रामा
प्रेमावतारा प्रभु साई रामा
परतीश्वर श्री साई प्रभु जय जय राम जगदभिराम
जय जय राम जगदभिराम
जय राम जगदभिराम
जय जय राम जगदभिराम
दीनबंधु साई राम दीनबंधु साई राम
दीनबंधु साई राम
जय जय राम 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 साई राम
दानव भंजन दयामया
दानव भंजन दयामया
दानव भंजन दयामया
दानव भंजन दयामया
दयामया कृपामया
दयामया कृपामया
दयामया
दीनबन्धु साई राम।
जय जय राम 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 जगदभिराम।
जय जय राम जगदभिराम।
दीनबन्धु साई राम।
हे दीनबन्धु साई राम।
जय जय राम साई राम।
जय जय राम साई राम।
दानव भंजन दयामया।
दानव भञ्जन दयामया।
न केवलं रोमकूपेषु रामनामस्मरणं
व्यर्थं शोचसि सीते त्वामहं लङ्का साम्राज्ञीं कर्तुं चिन्तयन्नस्मि। कियद्दिनानि अशोकवने राक्षस
serves as the spiritual teacher of the Chinmaya chapter in Chennai and is a publisher of the Chinmaya Udghosh National Youth Magazine. He was former director, National Projects, All India Chinmaya Yuva Kendra. Swami Mitrananda is an inspiring tutor, daring adventurer, vibrant speaker, creative writer, vigilant administrator, and mentor for many youngsters across the globe. As the former director of the All India Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, he has spearheaded many innovative nationwide projects such as the Youth Empowerment Program, Awakening Indians to India. And today, brothers and sisters, we are very happy to share that the Youth Empowerment Program will now be offered as a postgraduate diploma program in social service. And through this program, Swami Mitrananda has trained more than 300 youth to serve India. He has also initiated the Chinmaya Institute of Management Chennai chapter, which is reaching out to colleges and corporate organizations with a blend of management and spirituality. And for the benefit of all the youth attending this National Youth Meet, the Chinmaya Mission has very graciously sent us the Gita Sandesh bus, which is right outside the Premamritam auditorium, and may we urge all the delegates to go and visit the bus, which has very beautifully simplified all the chapters from the Bhagavad Gita. Brothers and sisters, delegates, we kindly request Swami Mitrananda to address all of us. Saram.
The history books which we have read they don't stay as an inspiration for us. It just stays as an information. Okay, something came at this point of time, something lived at this point of time, and this is what they did, that is what they did, but it doesn't inspire. Whereas Ramayana and Mahabharata, if you see, it's an inspiration forever. For thousands of years, Indian culture revolved around these two historical epics. But we must understand, when a poet like Valmiki or Vedas, when they write history, they would write history poetically, mystically, because both were mystics. Both were great poets, both were great visionaries. So history poetically written with mysticism and symbolism is what this beautiful book Ramayana and Mahabharata is. So we should first get this point. Indians must first get this point very clear, that they are not mythology, they are history, but poetically, mystically, with symbolism and philosophy, it has been compiled, it's been written. Now let us go into the regular story of Mahabharata. I'm sure all of you know, most of you must know. I'm not going into the story of Mahabharata, but I'm going to go into names of Ramayana. Let's go into the names of Ramayana. How each name has something for us to understand, revel, and recognize Lord Ram within. Lord Ram, the symbol of Dharma, who exists within us, and how do we recognize him within? So that's what my topic is for discussion today. Rama means one who revels. Ramante iti Ramaha. One who revels in greater joy, one who revels within Atma Rama, one who revels. Now, this brilliant Ram was born in a country called Ayodhya. And Ayodhya was ruled by Dasharatha. Now this is very important. It's so beautiful to see these two names, Dasharatha and Ayodhya. Dasharatha means Dasha 10, Ratha one who reigns. The 10 sense organs we have, organs of action, organs of perception, Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, well controlled. When we know to manage our senses, mind would be at peace. When we fail to control our senses, allow mind to run to the world as it is, without any control, without any moderation, that mind would only land more into conflict. So once you have 10 senses under control, the mind naturally is quiet. Ayodhya means Yodhya, conflict. Ayodhya, no conflict. Look at the name, how beautiful it is. Ayodhya, no conflict. Why? Ruled by a king who had all 10 senses under control, Dasharatha. When 10 senses are under control, the mind is at peace. When there is no conflict in the mind, when our mind becomes Ayodhya, Rama is born. To all of us, we want to experience Ram, the conflict, the agitations of the mind has to go down. When the agitations of the mind goes down and there is no more conflict, no more agitation, ripple of thought disturbance is not there. The mind has become still. In that mind, the Lord manifests, which is our own nature, and all of us can do that. If we can't do it, great teachers, great Mahatmas, great avatars who have come, they all would be wrong. This is something we need to understand. Many of us think, I can't do this. This I can't do this is something which we need to check. We can quieten our mind, we can still our mind, and we can find the Ram within. But many people, even to attempt, they say, oh, that's meant for a few people. And in India, we have this very peculiar culture. When we see some greatness in somebody, let's say Swami Vivekananda, lived only 39 years, not known to the world until 1893, and then he was known. 9-10 years, he did things where India's name went around the world for spirituality. When somebody like him comes and works so dynamically and makes a great impact on the world, we Indians say that was one of the Sapta Rishis who have come. The tribute's beautiful, the tribute should be genuine. And as a result, what happens? We can also attempt and do. No. That's a great Maharishi, avatar of a great Rishi. So generally we attribute greatness to these people and we accept to be what we are. But all these great men who have come have time and again have told us, you are divine. You can experience it here. You can experience it within. And we must trust them. If that is not true, they would not have told us. If it is not possible, they would never have suggested it to us. We have to understand such great masters, when they came and told us, they spoke the truth to us, telling you and I are divine and we can do it. We can experience it. I read a book of one mystical saint, Nisargadatta Maharaj of Maharashtra. He has written a book called I Am That. It's a very beautiful book. I am that, I am divine, I am that. So someone asked him, how did you do this? How did you get to be that? How did you realize? And what I heard from him, I'm sharing it. What he has written, I'm sharing it with you. He said, my guru told me I am divine, and my guru cannot be wrong. Let's get this very clearly. My guru told me I am divine, and my guru cannot be wrong. Can Bhagavan Krishna be wrong? Can Ramakrishna Paramahansa be wrong? Can Vivekananda be wrong? Bhagavan Satya Sai Baba, can he be wrong? Can Ramana Maharshi be wrong? All these great masters who have walked around us have told us, we are divine, we have to find it. So when do I find this Ram within? When I control my 10 senses, Dasharata, organs of action, organs of perception under control. Today, they are not in our control. We are helpless. The mind continues to torment. I must be talking to you for last 5 minutes, maybe 7, 8 minutes. Your entire mind was, or it went out a couple of times. Was it here? Always? Or it went out? Sometimes we are here physically, mentally we are not here. Body is here, mind goes off somewhere else and comes. You could be sitting here physically and mind can be elsewhere. It happens to everybody. Body is in one place, mind is in another place. When body and mind are not aligned together, same place, we can never experience divinity. In all spiritual techniques, in all religions across the world, one of those very common things is japa. People do japa. Hindus do japa. Buddhists do japa. They may do with beads or they use a rattle. They do japa. Sikhs do japa. Islam, Christianity do japa. One common practice in all religions across the world. Common practice. If you look at what is common, doing japa is very common. Why all religions talk about japa? Why is this technique, which is so common and it is practiced everywhere? In doing japa, we bring mind and body together. Physically, mentally, we will be in the same place, taking the name of God. Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram. When I take the name of the Lord and I move the beats at the body level, I align my body and mind together. Mind-body alignment is very important to experience divinity. Mind-body alignment. That is the spiritual MBA, mind-body alignment. When you go out to a spiritual organization, you get this mind-body alignment technique. Align the mind, body, same place. If we can do it, we become Dasharata. 10 senses are under control, mind has no conflict, Lord Ram is born in Ayodhya. Ayodhya means, as I told you, no conflict. And everything was fine. That's how things go. All are nice. But suddenly, something or other can happen. That's how the Leela of the Lord is. Different things happen. And Sita was found when they were plowing the land. Mother Sita was born. They found her there. Now that is again very mystical, symbolic to understand. Janak field, Mother Sita was born. From earth, what comes has to be matter. Matter wedded to spirit. Sita wedded to Ram. Everything was fine. Mind was nice. And they were very, very peaceful, even in the forest. And Ram's one of the most beautiful traits is when King Dasharath called him and said, "You'll be the king. The crowning ceremony will happen soon. Coronation will happen soon." Ram smiled and he said, "Oh, that's fine." Within few minutes or an hour max, he was called again and said, "You're not king?" Kaikeyi tells him, "You're not the king. Bharat has to be the king, and now you walked to the forest for 14 years." Ram smiled and he says, "That's fine." Now this balanced mind is very important for us. Kingdom given, there was no excitement, he could take it. Next moment, kingdom taken away, walked the forest for 14 years, he could stay balanced. What a beautiful quality. The similar thing Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita. Wise man, in second chapter, the Staprajnakshana, Krishna tells Arjuna, wise man is like ocean, apuryamanam acha pratishta. How a mighty ocean receives waters from various rivers every moment. Please think, how much of water must be entering into the ocean through rivers of the world every moment. When you see the mouth of a river, you understand how much of water gets poured into the ocean every moment. It must be some gallons, billions of gallons or trillions of gallons of water must be going into the ocean every moment, and ocean has the ability to take it. Ocean doesn't overflow. Whatever comes, ocean has the ability to take it. And that's what I'm demonstrating. Kingdom given, he took it with a smile. Kingdom taken away, he smiled, he was happy. Little gains, little loss will happen to us always in life. We should not be agitated or shuttled by it. They will happen and we should go to take them. Ram demonstrated that. Ram, Sita and Lakshman moved to the forest. They were still very happy in the forest. Everything was nice. Then comes Maricha in a form of a golden deer. The mind which was always with Rama turned within. Sita's mind turned within. Looking at Ram, turned out. Saw a golden deer. The moment the mind went out from the sanctum of divinity within, the mind got out and was lost to Ravana, who is called Dashamukha. Ravana, Dashamukha. Ram's father, Dasharatha, well-controlled sense organs. Dashamukha, all 10 senses are outside. Extrovert. Lost into it. A desire and mind went out and was lost. But Sita, being what she is, balanced woman, immediately regained her composure. Saying, yes, this has happened, but I must get back to Ram. And if you see the names, I go on with the names, cutting it short, but few names we can see. Ravan kept Sita in Ashokavana. That's the place, Ashokavatika. That's where Sita was kept. Ashoka means what? Shoka, sorrow. Ashoka, no sorrow. Why no sorrow? You are in the land of Dashamukha, all turned outside, but the mind wanted the Lord within. The moment the mind started connecting to the Lord, she was placed in a garden where the trees are called Ashoka. The lady was sitting in a garden where there was no Ashoka, no sorrow. She was composed, balanced. You see how beautiful these are. The names only. And Ram was wandering, moving around to find out how one can do this, how to get Sita back. And Jatayu came forward. Jatayu offered, informed Ram, saying, I tried my best to stop Sita. But Ravan carried away. I could not do anything. Ravan almost killed me. I'm dying now. So could not stop Sita moving away. Carry away. Now there is another beautiful lesson here. Ravan, mighty, strong, powerful, killed Jatayu. But the value for what Jatayu stood remained, not what Ravan wanted. Though Ravan carried Sita, he could not have Sita. What Jatayu stood for, that Ravan should not have Sita, but stayed. So one very important point here we need to understand is, if you are right, that is might. In truth, there is strength. What Swami Vivekananda said, if you have truth by your side, even if the whole world opposes, you can face it. We get that strength. We can't be a weakling if truth is on our side. We will have strength, or we will have the power. Right is might, not might is right, as generally people say. Jatayu stood for what is right, and that's why he is remembered even today. Right is might. So Jatayu informs Ram that Sita was abducted, Rava carried her away. How do we go about? And then he meets few saints, Sabari, etc. all that. And finally, he has to take the help of Sugriva. Ram took the help of Sugriva. With Sugriva's help, he formed an army. And with the army, what could cross the ocean and bring back Sita. Sugriva means, again, Griva, well read, Su, good. A person who knows to control well. Sugriva, that's the meaning. So he who is controlling the five senses, eyes, ears, nose, taste, touch, under control, his help was taken. But on the way, Sugriva had a brother by name Vali. I'm sure all of you know the story of Vali. Vali had a boon. The boon was, whoever comes and stays in front of Vali, that person will lose half the strength, and that half strength will go to Vali. You're strong. When you have a weakness, let us say, it could be for sweets, it could be for smoking, it could be for drinking, it could be anything. People have different weaknesses. And there are people who are very addicted to these weaknesses. Let's say a person has a weakness for sweets, highly diabetic, weakness for sweets, looks at sweets, feels tempted. Now, the sweets are in front of this person. What happens to this person's self-control who is an addict? Becomes half weak. Correct? Looking at the sweets, one becomes half weak. And the sweets become double strong. You get the point? Someone wants to smoke, and he wants to give up smoking. He has decided, I should not smoke anymore, let me give it up. And the moment he sees the cigarette, half of the self-control gone. You become half weak, the temptation becomes double strong. This is Vali in the spiritual path to all of us. You can't kill him from the front. Looking at it, one becomes weak. Shoot him from the back. Avoid situations which can create temptations. Avoid. That's the way to counter temptation. Nothing can happen after that. Any amount of temptation, we know to stay calm. We know to stay balanced. The temptation loses its power. It cannot entice any further. But at an early stage, this wisdom is necessary. So Ram takes care, destroys Vali and moves forward. With the help of Sugriva, he goes to Lanka, brings back Sita. Now you see symbolically. That's why I said this is a beautiful piece of history, poetically and mystically written. Such a powerful message. Each name is so inspiring. And there is something to contemplate. And the journey becomes so easy. When I control my senses, I am Dasharatha, and I stay in Ayodhya, Ram will be born. If I lose my self-control, senses are lost, I am in Dashamukha with Ravana. Nothing will be done. Mind has to go back to the Lord. Then, among all those asuric forces, one can stay happy. Ashokavati. Sita stayed there, balanced and happy. And the mind started invoking the Lord. The Lord has to come, no matter how the world is. One seeker sincerely invokes, the Lord has to come. He has to create an army, destroy the temptations which are on the way, and reach and bring back Sita devotee. So Ramayana, if we see, story is so inspiring. The symbolic meanings are so inspiring because the people who wrote are mystical people. There's a lot of mysticism brought in. And Dharma Shastra. Ramayana is Dharma Shastra. It's a symbol which a lady who was craving to get back to Ram in an unknown land with asuric forces around, anyone would have said, yes, you take me with tree or with the hut or whatever, let us go today. Sita did not do that. She told Hanuman, it is not glory to Ram if you take me back. Ram is a king. When he returns back to Ayodhya, people will laugh. He should come, destroy the enemy, and then carry. That is glory to him. Please inform that. Hanuman was angry. Hanuman was angry. And he said, and he started destroying the garden and few things. Finally, Indrajit has come and captured, and Hanuman allowed himself to be caught so that he can see the Lanka topography more clearly, the fort and the palace, various entrances, what could be the army's strength. He gave him an opportunity to assess the opponent well. So Hanuman went around assessing and finally meets Ravan himself. Speaks to Ravan. Ravan doesn't listen a word of what Hanuman says. On the contrary, he says, burn his tail. He's too proud. Burn his tail. So Hanuman's tail was burned. And first thing Hanuman did is he jumped over to a curtain nearby and burned the curtain. And then from there it went on to different places he was sitting and burning. And one part of Lanka was on flames. And he was still angry. Now, this is where this beautiful story comes. Hanuman goes and meets Sita, angry Hanuman, saying, this is what they're trying to do. How dare they do this? And to his emotions go very high after him and says, Ram was not sad enough. You understand? He should have been more sad. He was not sad enough. This is the mother. That was perception. So the love and devotion which Sita invoked in Hanuman was so much. So this angry Hanuman, after destroying, he was still angry. And he comes to inform Sita that half or a part of Lanka is burnt. Now I'm going back to Ram and I will come back with the army. We will come here. Sita, what? Now listen to this. This is where Ramayana as Dharma we understand. This is where we see the greatness of that woman. Nobody has portrayed women more better than Valmiki. The way in which Valmiki visualizes an ideal woman, the strength of her is seen here. Hanuman tells Sita, I'll go and we will inform. Sita makes Hanuman sit. I have to tell you a story. Listen now. Hanuman sits down and listens to a story which Sita tells. And Sita tells the story. There was a bear living in a forest. On a particular tree, the bear was sitting up. In the same forest, in the same vicinity, there was a tiger falling, and a man was following the tiger. He wanted to shoot tiger. Somehow he attempted, all his arrows failed to hit the tiger. Now the man had no arrows with him. The tiger started chasing the man. The man started running, because the tiger was chasing. And man climbs up the tree in which this bear was sitting. Climbs up the tree. And there he sees, suddenly there is a bear sleeping up on the tree. There's a tiger below. And the tiger starts howling. The bear wakes up. The tiger tells the bear, push the man down. I saw him first. He may be in a tree. But I saw him first. Push him down. I need him. The bear looks at the man, and the man was shivering. The bear looks at the tiger, and the bear says, I have lived in this tree for ages, few decades. This is my home. And here's a man who has come to my home. I will not throw him out. Atiti Devo Bhava. The bear tells, I will not throw him out. So tiger looks and says, you can't understand what to do. And the tiger is not going. The man is sitting and the bear is up. And the bear went back to sleep. Tiger calls the man, come here. I have something to tell you. I am hungry. Push the bear down. You push the bear down. I'll kill the bear. My hunger is gone. You survive. The man went to the top branch of the tree. Pushes the bear down. The bear keeps falling down. Somehow manages to climb back to the tree on the last branch. Was hanging on, jumped back to the tree. The tiger started laughing. The tiger started laughing and he said, what did I tell you? You don't understand men. Now push the man down. Pushed you down. Now push the man down. I'll eat him and we are done. Push him down. The bear looks at the man. The man is shivering. And the bear tells, he may not follow his dharma. I will not change. I will not push him down. Look at the value the bear had, saying, I will not push him down. He could be ungrateful, but I will not stoop down. Who tells the story? Sita to Hanuman. When Hanuman was angry, Ugra, at that time Sita tells, calm down. The bear followed his dharma. You came as a messenger, you just do a messenger's job. Inform Ram, he will take care. This sense of vengeance in you, anger in you is not good. This is where Mother Sita was. Her idea of dharma. So Ramayana, if you see, is a book with small stories. The entire epic, along with the names and the mysticism, is a beautiful piece of historical art. It is our treasure. We must preserve it. We must reconnect the coming generations to Ramayana. Bharat's glory will come back. I'm so very happy to be here in this beautiful gathering and such a wonderful initiative of remembering Ramayana again. I thank the organizers. I thank everybody. Thank you very much.
Swamiji, thank you very much for reminding all of us to seek divinity within and for beautifully narrating various episodes from the Ramayana and explaining the values which the myriad characters exhibit. Swamiji, thank you once again from all of us. for linking them practically for today's day and age. Now we would like to offer our gratitude to Swami Nityananda. May we request Shri B. N. Narsimurti to offer our love and gratitude.
Our next keynote speaker is His Grace Shubhalas Das Prabhu from ISKCON. ISKCON, that is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Shubhavilas ji, having a degree in the specialized field of patent law and a degree in electronic engineering, found his way into writing books as an extension of his spiritual calling. His interest lies in understanding scriptures thoroughly so as to apply their learnings in making life meaningful. He uses insights in addressing the crucial needs of top-level personnel of corporate houses through thought-provoking seminars on themes such as secrets of lasting relationships, soul curry to stop worry, and work-life balance. He travels across the globe, delivering talks to youth across educational institutes, counseling students in the areas of leadership, overcoming failures, and management stress. He is the author of the best-selling series, Ramayana, The Game of Life, a book series that deals with contemporary subjects like how human relationships work or how they fail, how leaders can maximize their potential, and how the ancient epic holds immediate relevance to modern life. Shri Shubhalas Das Prabhu.
ओम अज्ञानतिरन्दस्य ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Very honored and grateful to be amidst all of you all here today. Very grateful to the Satyasai organization and all the managers of this institute for having invited me here to be amidst all of you all to share some of my thoughts. After this magnificent talk by Muddenahalli Swamiji, I am feeling quite humbled to speak, but I'll speak something from Ramayana. Hopefully that will inspire some of you all. Essentially, education means three things: knowledge, skills, and values. Today, all the modern education that we have connection with is expertly helping us develop knowledge and skills. But there is lack of education that offers us values. Many decades back, when Max Miller, he did a research about India, he 4 years traveled around India extensively, and he said, India is a place where, can you imagine, this is his conclusion, this is British Gazettes, this is a place where there are no thieves and no dishonest men. The same India that we are in today. And he attributed the reason why India has such integrity is because there is study of Ramayana and Mahabharata constantly going on. Unfortunately, India has lost that, and therefore we find what has happened today. Each book, as Swamiji was telling, the Itihas brings up different things. Ramayana teaches us how to lead in this world. The Mahabharata teaches us how to live in this world. And the Bhagavad teaches us how to leave this world. Essentially, everyone is looking for entertainment for the mind. Why is Bollywood, Hollywood, Tollywood, all these industries growing extremely well? Because mind needs entertainment. But most novels, most movies today entertain the mind thoroughly. But they don't provide, there are two other things that human being needs. Along with entertainment, there is also a need for education. And along with the need for education, there is also a need for enlightenment. Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these great books, not just entertain us, but they also educate us, they also enlighten us. One time, a man went to a village and he asked a small child in this village, has any great man been born in this village? The child said, no, only children born in this village. The funny thing is, Everybody in this world is born as children. But who becomes great and who doesn't become great is determined by what one does while one lives. There are four purposes of life, four aims every human being is looking for. The first aim of life is to live. Nobody wants to die, everybody wants to live a long life. But while living, what do? The second aim of life is to live and while living, learn, upgrade one's knowledge. Many times in Ayodhya, Lord Ram would be found missing. Ram would just not be found anywhere in Ayodhya. People would search in his palaces. Even Sita wouldn't know where Ram went. And invariably, whenever Ram went missing like this, he would be found sitting under the feet of some sage, hearing great words of wisdom. The second purpose of life is to learn. Whenever you drive, or whenever you start learning to drive, you're first given a learner's license. And you have to put an L board on your car or your bike, you drive that bike or car for about a month. And after 1 month, you can remove the L board because you have become experienced. You don't need an L board anymore. But in life, we always need an L board. The day we remove L board from our relationships, towards the end, I will address that. And the fourth purpose of life that Ramayana talks about is to leave a legacy. That means, after you're gone, how you want to be remembered by the world. That's what the world recognizes you as. Most people today, they don't understand how to leave a legacy, a way in which you will be remembered. Ramayana has a very interesting certain number of people which actually depict this. There are 3 cities in the Ramayana: Ayodhya, Lanka, and Kishkinda. Geographically also, these 3 cities are situated in a line. Ayodhya on top, Lanka below, Kishkinda in between, in Karnataka. So essentially, these 3 cities represent 3 different lifestyles. Ayodhya represents a situation of culture. Lanka represents a situation which is known as Vikriti, that means destructive nature, destructive behavior, selfish behavior. Ayodhya represents high character, Lanka represents low character. In between the 2 cities is the 3rd city which is known as Kishkinda. And the people of Kishkinda, they are called as Vanara. The word Vanara is a rhetorical question. What is the meaning of Nara? Nara means human. Vanara means a question. Are you a human? That means, to the extent you behave like Ayodhyasis, you are a human. The moment you behave like Lankavasis, you are not human. You are a monkey. And therefore, in Kishkinda, there are different types of Vanaras that lived. There are Vanaras like Vali, who behaved almost like Ravan, and therefore they had to be dealt with severely. And there were Vanaras like Hanumanji, that who behaved almost like Ayodhyasis, like Lord Ram. And then there are Vanaras like Sugriv, who are always confused. Sometimes they behave like Ayodhyavasis, and sometimes they behave like Lankavasis. Therefore, the question that is asked is, Vanara, are you human? C's, or there are 6 C's that we are going to learn today. And each of these C's teaches us how do we live life with integrity according to the teachings of the Ramayana. The first C of life is known as choice. Every human being gets to make choices in life. And how do you make these choices? In the Ramayana, there is a very interesting personality known as Bharat, the younger brother of Lord Ram. Bharat was given so many choices. He was given the choice of becoming the ruler of Ayodhya in the place of Lord Ram. But Bharat decided to choose living outside Ayodhya in a small village known as Nandiram. And what kind of lifestyle he lived for 14 years? For 14 years, Bharat did not live in his palace. He lived in a small hut. Bharat did not sleep on the ground. He slept 2 feet below the ground, because he was thinking, my brother is working on ground level. I can't sleep at that level. I have to sleep below him. For 14 years, Bharat did not eat Rajbhog, but rather he ate barley soaked in cow urine once a day. For 14 years, Bharat would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to have a bath, thinking that if first thing in the morning, if somebody saw me, their day will get spoiled because I am not worth seeing. Bharat did not choose facilities, but he chose integrity. There was a test created by Bharadwaj Muni. When Bharat was on his way to Chitrakoot, Bharadwaj Muni decided to test Bharat's integrity, Bharat's intentions. So he created a virtual city just of thin air. And in that virtual city, there was unlimited amount of enjoyment available. Trees, there were ornaments, gold jewels, fine clothing hanging on trees. And there were rivers of liquor, there were rivers of juices flowing. When the Ayodhyavasis came across this opulent environment, they just completely got lost. There were beautiful apsaras, there was music, there was dance, there was so much food. The Ayodhyavasis completely forgot Ram, completely forgot why they were going to Chitrakoot. They just focused on enjoying themselves. In the midst of all this enjoyment, there was a huge palace created by Bharadwaj Muni, and in the palace, in the center of the palace was a throne. And different apsaras were taking Bharat to make him sit on the throne so that he can enjoy. While everybody else was focused on enjoyment, Bharat was sober. He didn't drink anything, didn't eat anything, didn't enjoy anything there. And when he was taken to the throne, he didn't sit on the throne, he sat on the ground, thinking that Lord Ram is sitting on the throne, worshipping Lord Ram. When Bharadwaj Muni, he saw that action of Bharat, he realized this person is a Dharmatma. This person is a great person. And therefore, in life, many of us, we go through setbacks, fall downs. Whenever we go through a fall in life, the question is not whether we will fall or no. Everyone will fall in life. When we fall, what is our fallback option? Duryodhana in the Mahabharata, his fallback option was Shakuni. Whenever he went through a problem in life, he would fall back to Shakuni. And Arjun, his fallback option was Krishna. Whenever he fall, he will fall back to Krishna. And therefore, either we can deal with bad by becoming worse, or we can deal with bad by becoming even more good. At some point, each one of us will have choice to make. What do we choose? There was a small village where there was one boy living whose name was Ben Hooper. And this boy, he grew up with a very sad feeling because he didn't know who his father was. There was some kind of a gang rape in that village, and many women got pregnant, and one of them gave birth to Ben Hooper. This boy dreaded this question, who is your father? He always avoided company, he always avoided any kind of situation where somebody could ask this question. One day, he came to know about a priest who was giving a very powerful talk. He said, I want to go and hear this person. But he decided to sit right in the end of the hall so that he would not have to actually face anybody. And he would just get out when the talk gets over. But he got so enamored by the talk, he completely forgot. And by the time he wanted to get out, there was a big crowd and he had to wait. Suddenly he felt a hand on his shoulder, and the priest was standing next to him. The priest asked him the question that he dreaded the most. Who is your father? And Ben Hooper, he literally started crying tears. At that time, some other boys from the village said, he doesn't know the name of his father. He doesn't have a father. The priest, he smiled. He said, I know who his father is. Ben Hooper became extremely happy. First time somebody is telling him that I know who the father is. He said, ordinary people have ordinary inheritance because they know who their father is. You are extraordinary because you don't know who your father is. Your father is God himself. And therefore, ordinary people have to live up to ordinary inheritance. They have to live up to the standard of who their father was. But because you don't know who your father is, you have such an exalted father. God himself is your father. That stayed in this man's mind. And whenever he did anything in life, he kept thinking about only one thing. I am the son of God. I have to live up to the standard of what my father expects from me. And therefore, when you understand that this is the type of expectation that is from you, you learn to make the right choices in life. Bharat, he wanted to live up to the expectation of Ram. And because he chose Ram as his ideal, the choices that he made were in alignment with that ideal. Whenever you make the right choices, the second C comes in life, challenges. Any time when you have not made any choice at all, when you have decided one day that I will never smoke, that day only temptation will come. The day, like Swamiji was saying, you decide, I'm not going to eat any sweets, that day only somebody will give you one packet of Kaju Katli. So essentially, challenges come the moment you decide you want to make the right choice. For most people, when they come across challenges in life, they just don't know how to behave because they have never dealt with challenges. One day I was sitting near a pond in Bombay and I saw a bat that had fallen on the ground. This bat was struggling like anything. The bat just couldn't move. It was wriggling itself on the ground. It was just not able to fly. I was wondering, why is it not flying? I mean, if you have seen bats fly, they fly so fast. The bat has a problem. For a bat to fly, to be able to fly, it needs an edge. If it gets an edge, it can throw itself off the edge and fly to any extent. But if the bat is fall on a flat surface, for its entire life it will remain wriggling on the ground only, because it needs an edge to throw itself off. All of us in life are like this bat. When we go through problems and frustrations in life, we can't think out of the box. We only get stuck with the challenges, with the problems that we go through. The nature of the mind is to be always dissatisfied and unhappy. The mind is never happy with what it has. It always looks for what it doesn't have. There was a farmer once who had a dog. And every time a car or a scooter would pass by, this dog would go running after the car, barking. So one fellow asked the farmer, he said, I have a problem. My problem is that this dog, every time he runs behind these cars, I wonder, will there ever be a day when he catch a car? The farmer said, that's not my problem. My problem is, even if he catches a car, what will he do with that car? What can a dog do with a car? Many times our mind tends to behave like this. It gets stuck with the wrong things, and with what is right, it never gets satisfied. And therefore, the tendency of mind is to remain dwelling in negativity too much. When Ram, Lakshman and Sita, they were in the forest, can you imagine delicate princess like Mother Sita living in a forest? Ramayana explains, Sita was so delicate that even the sun and the moon had never seen her. If a leaf would fall on her body, that part of her body would become reddish because she was so soft and delicate. Such a delicate personality, along with her husband Ram and brother-in-law Lakshman, she was living in forest with so much trouble and difficulty. In the midst of all this trouble and difficulty, Ram, Lakshman and Sita found positive ways to enjoy themselves. Sita learned so many things. One day, Sita, Ram and Lakshman, they had gone to the Godavari river for bathing. And Ram challenged Sita. He told Sita, let us have a swimming competition. And Sita was confused. Where is competition coming from? In Ram's dictionary, competition doesn't exist. Only cooperation exists. But Sita said, anyway, Ram is wanting, let's do it. So they started swimming, and the competition was that so they were supposed to swim to the other side of the river and come back to where Lakshman is. And as they started swimming, Ram naturally was a warrior. He swam really fast. He reached the other side. He was almost on the way back halfway when he saw Sita struggling. She has not even finished the first half. Ram was thinking, what will I get if I win this competition? He decided to not win. He went into the water, just waited over there till Sita reached the other side. And when Sita reached, she saw Ram still not reached. Then saw Ram coming slowly. She started laughing like anything. He started laughing like Ram, when he looked at Mother Sita laugh, he said, this laughter is worth the loss. There was a time in the past when people would laugh like anything. They would roll on the ground and laugh till tears come out from the eyes, till the stomach is hurting, they would laugh like anything. I remember my childhood, my father, every day when we would have dinner together, we would be only laughing half the time. The next generation is where you need laughing clubs to laugh. People come together and ha ha ha. Everybody laughs together. And there is a leader that is needed to inspire. Laugh now. Next generation is where people only smile. That's it. The next generation is where people, they say lol. Laugh out loud. They don't even laugh. And next generation is where they send smiley by messages. Naturally, so much psychology is needed today. If you don't learn to see the lighter side of life, naturally you need all kind of experts to try to help you deal with the negative situations in life. When you go through challenges in life, we have to learn to see the challenges in a lighter way. Ram, Lakshman and Sita, though they went through so many challenges in their life, they never gave up the third C. Whenever you make the right choices, challenges will come. And when you face challenges, the next C, which is very important to deal with the challenges, is commitment. We need to show our commitment to be able to deal with negativity effectively. Like Swami was talking about how Ram dealt with news. One day, he's considered to be the king of the world. The next day, he's considered to be a beggar. And therefore, the question is, when to be able to deal with challenges, we have to ask ourselves, are we really having confidence in ourselves? Most people, when they go through challenges in their life, they give up their commitments because they don't have any confidence in themselves at all. By the time somebody has reached the age of 14, you have heard at least 1,48,000 times, you can't do it. Suppose a small child tries to climb up a chair. The father says, can't, you shouldn't do it, down. Suppose a small child tries to do something very challenging. The father says, no, you can't do it. So constantly, by the time you reach 14, you have heard so many times this word, you can't do it. You actually think that you can't do it at all. And therefore, it does not matter what I have in life, but what really matters is what I do with what I have in life. And therefore, people like Ram, in the midst of so much challenges, they don't give up their commitment. In the Ramayana, we find the story of Hanumanji crossing the ocean to reach Lanka. And during the crossing of the ocean, Hanumanji, there are 3 obstacles that come in Hanuman's life. The first obstacle is a golden mountain named Mainak. And this golden mountain comes up from the middle of the ocean and tells Hanumanji that please come and rest on me. You must be exhausted, take some rest, eat some fruits and then you go ahead. This golden mountain represents comforts. When you go on a venture, when you decide to commit yourself, that time the first obstacle that comes in your life is comfort. Postponing your commitment. Choosing comfort over your commitment. And therefore, Hanumanji, what he does is just touches the mountain and goes. He says, I can't rest till my goal is achieved. After that, the second challenge comes in the form of a huge demoness whose name is Surasa. This demoness has a big mouth. And she opens her mouth and tells Hanumanji that I have Lord Brahma's benediction that nobody can pass over this ocean till they enter my mouth. Hanumanji says, I don't care for any benediction. And Hanumanji, he expands himself bigger than her mouth. Surasa expands her mouth even bigger than Hanumanji. Hanumanji becomes 20 yojanas. Surasa becomes 30. Like that they keep on increasing till Hanumanji becomes 100 yojanas. And Surasa expands her mouth even bigger. Suddenly Hanuman becomes a small fly. Enters into the mouth of Surasa and comes out. And he tells, see, I've entered your mouth. Brahmaji's benediction is fulfilled. Surasa represents the competitive mentality. People want to prove that I am better than you. Surasa was trying to prove I am better than you. Hanuman was trying to prove I am better than you. Surasa was trying to prove I am even better than you. Competition is no end at all. How do you deal with competitive mentality? By becoming humble. Hanuman said, my goal is not to show I am better than you. My goal is to fulfill Lord Ram's mission. And therefore, Hanumanji became smaller than a fly, taking a very humble position, and he overcame Surasa, the obstacle of competition. And then, the next demon that came in Hanumanji's life was Simhika. She was a demon who could hold a shadow and pull you down. So Simhika started pulling Hanumanji down, using his shadow as a grip. Simhika represents those people who look at your faults and pull you down. She represents those people who are envious of you. How do you deal with envy in life? Whenever you have envy in life, you can progress. Therefore, Hanumanji dealt with envy by destroying her. He entered into the mouth of Simhika, tore open her belly and came out. Many times, we go through tests in our lives. Those tests in our lives are actually tests of God to prove that we are committed. And whenever we go through tests in our lives, we have to show by our commitment that we can go through those. And after we go through those tests or commitments, the fourth C comes in our life, which is known as connection. We make the right choices, we face challenges, and the challenges test our commitment. And in challenges, we keep our commitment on. Then fourth thing comes, which is known as connection. Hanumanji, when he was a small child, he was very powerful. But at a certain point, he was doing so much mischief that a sage cursed him that he'll forget all his powers till somebody reminds him. When they came across the ocean, at that point of time, all the monkeys, they started saying how much they can do. One monkey said I can do 20 miles, another said I can do 100 miles, another said I can do 800 miles, but I can't come back. All monkeys detected that nobody's going to be able to achieve the goal. At that point of time, Jambavan, who was the leader, he started reminding Hanuman of his powers. And as Jambavan started reminding Hanuman of his powers, and bigger and bigger. And eventually we find he continues serving Sita and Ram even after that. Why? That teaches us a very important lesson in relationships. How to be composed in such times in life. Insult is not so much when somebody who is a stranger insults you. But insult is most when somebody whom you love the most, whom you have done so much for, that person insults you. When you go through such phases in your life, it is very difficult to handle. And therefore we can learn from Lakshman one very important lesson in life, which I call as press the pause button. When somebody speaks something like this to you, what you should do? Press the pause button. When an action movie is going on and suddenly phone rings or somebody comes to the door, what do? Press the pause button so that you don't want to miss any action. Whenever I tell this story, people tell me that forget thinking of pressing the pause button. In such situations in life, we don't know where the remote control is. Very difficult to press the pause button. Just try to understand Lakshman's character. He was an angry young man. All the time he was angry. Anything going wrong, he would flare up. But in this particular situation in his life, he didn't get angry. He acted very composed. What was that secret? What inspired Lakshman, who was always an agitated, angry person, to press the pause button in this case? Because Lakshman, when he pressed the pause button, he asked himself a question. The question that he asked himself was, is Sita actually meaning what she spoke? And the answer he got was, no. Sita's concern for Ram is coming out in the form of these words. And again, when Ram spoke those words, he again pressed the pause button and asked himself the same question. Does Ram really mean what he spoke? And again, the answer he got was, no. Ram's concern for Sita is coming out in the form of those words. And then, the question still remains. What inspired an angry young person to be able to press the pause button? The answer is very simple. Lakshman thought about one word, gratitude. Lakshman was thinking, 40 years Ram has deposited love in this relationship. For one mistake that he made, one withdrawal that he made, why should I forget and be ungrateful for the 40 years of love that he gave me? When Sita made that comment, Lakshman was thinking, 25 years she has deposited love in this relationship. For the one mistake that she made, why should I forget the 25 years of love? That gratitude helped Lakshman press the pause button. And therefore, composure is possible only when you have deep connection, which can help you think deeper in life. And when you are composed, then the sixth C comes in place, which is known as certainty. Certainty means that definitely we will be able to succeed in life. All of us are work in progress. We have seen many construction sites where they write board, work in progress. All of us are exactly like that, work in progress. Nobody can think that we are perfect. And therefore, what is the message of the Ramayana and the Gita? The message of the Ramayana and Gita, both are same. Krishna tells Arjun, you fight and I will kill all the enemies. Ram tells Sugriv, you fight with Vali and I will kill him. Ramayana and Mahabharata teach us the same principle. That means our duty is to fight. Our duty is to try. The result is not in our hands, it's in God's hands. That is certain. And therefore, the 6 things that the Ramayana teaches us is, first, make the right choices. When we make the right choices, then the second thing that comes into our life is challenges, which will test our choices. And in spite of the challenges, if we keep our commitment on, then that commitment will bring us connection to the Guru, to the right teacher, who will help us learn how to be composed in life, in spite of shortcomings, in spite of troubles. And when we live a life of composure, then certainly we'll be able to perfect our life, and our life will be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Swamiji, for beautifully capturing all the lessons of Ramayana for the modern times in bullet points. That's how the modern generation likes it. Bullet points, 6 C's. First C for choice, challenges, commitment, connection, composure, and certainty. Dear Swamiji, we express our gratitude to you, and may I now request Sri B.N. Narsimurthy to hand over our token of gratitude. This afternoon, the program will commence at 2:45 p.m. We will be having an interesting quiz on the Ramayana involving all the delegates present here. So it is now time to jog your memory, recall all the stories of the Ramayana that you have heard in your childhood, recall the lessons that were taught today and all the books that you read as you grew up. We will be having the quiz at 2:45, and all the delegates are requested to be seated in the auditorium by 2:30. We will now close the morning session with the Sarva Dharma prayer.
Om Tat Sat Shri Narayana Tu Purushottama Guru Tu Siddha Buddha Tu Skanda Vinayaka Savita Pavaka Tu Sai Savita Pavaka Tu Brahma Majja Tu Yava Shakti Tu Kesu Pita Prabhu Tu Rudra Vishnu Tu Rama Krishna Tu Rahima Tao Tu Sai Rahima Tao Tu Vasudeva Tu Vishwarupa Tu Chidananda Hai Tu Advitiya Tu Akala Nirbhaya Atmalinga Shiva Tu Sai Atmalinga Shiva Tu Sai Atmalinga Shiva Tu